Welcome to Challenge Charlie. This week I'm on an industrial estate in the middle of Reading where I'm going to be doing a 4x4 off-road challenge. Okay, so I am now in the driving seat. It all looks a little bit complicated, but we're going to see how I do.
Just nice and slowly into it, nice and gently. All we're really looking at, we're almost nicely lined up now. It's just keeping it nice and gentle with the power, just a tiny bit to climb. Keep it going, although you can't see anything. It's a nice straight line off the power now, and just wait for it to drop, no brakes. We're going to come into it basically on tick over. So we can get ourselves nicely lined up now, steering straight, come off the power, and just let the card go through on tick over. You can see it's going to tip right, but we don't want to turn much. The steering shouldn't go more than maybe quarter of a turn on the steering wheel. You shouldn't need to move your hands at all. That's it, good. Just keep it like that gently. That's it. Lovely. I'm going to follow it round to the right.
Still on tick over?
Yep, still more or less nice and slow, because you've got really no grip here at all. As we come round, we've got a big hole in the middle of the track, so we want to make sure we keep the front out slightly wide to the left.
Oh my god.
That's it, then just a little bit of gas to take it up the hill.
That's quite good fun. Quite like feeling like I'm about to fall out the window.
Lovely. What we're going to do is straight out of the track in front of you, the middle one out of the three.
Where would you like me to go now?
So head straight down.
I get a full hour's driving behind the wheel, and during that time I go up hills, down ditches and through some really quite deep puddles. Despite the fact that the 4x4 Centre is actually located on one of Reading's biggest business parks, they've actually got 9 miles of off-road track, so there's plenty of terrain for you to try, bearing in mind that you're probably going about 1 or 2 miles an hour. I have to admit that it did quite remind me of learning how to drive, though there are some quite large differences. For example, at times the instructor will tell you to take off your seatbelt, and actually sometimes he'll tell you to lean out of the window so that you can properly see what the front wheels are doing. Steering is the key to off-road driving. Once you know what your wheels are doing, then you can tackle pretty much any obstacle.
Increase it very gently. Bring your steering round a little bit straighter, that's it. And just very slightly on the gas now, just to keep it going. That's it, that's all we need. That will take us all the way to the top now. The slower you can turn the wheels, the more traction you've got. Good.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a big steep drop. Got all excited.
No, just a nice gentle drop the other side.
That was wicked. By far one of my most fun challenges. I know I say that a lot, but it really was really cool. A little bit slow. I think that's probably the only thing about the off-roading that I don't like so much. We literally were going at like 1,000 revs per minute, so probably about 1 or 2 miles an hour. I'm a bit of a speed demon, so possibly a little bit slow for me, but other than that, that was so much fun. Don't know if you saw, we were driving through some pretty big puddles. Apparently the Landy can go right up to its headlights through the water, but I was quite happy enough. It kind of felt like I was swimming. And the bits where you come down the hills, oh, that's so cool. It's quite funny because there are different ways of driving. It's different to road driving. So for example, when you switch the car on, you don't put your foot on the accelerator, you literally just lift your foot off the clutch. And so a lot of the time, you're driving the car with it literally just ticking over, you're not using the accelerator. But the weirdest parts are, if you stall going up a hill, you have to put the car in reverse, and then you literally, once you found biting point, just take your foot off the pedals, and it literally just lurches back, and you kind of just let the car get on with it. And the same with when you're going down the hill forwards, once you've got over the brow of the hill, you literally just take your feet off the pedals, which is quite weird because you just feel like you're not in control, but actually it allows the car to have a lot more traction and actually allows the car to be far more in control. So once you kind of get used to that, then you just go for it. And I really enjoyed coming over the hills because it's such a big car. Like, obviously there's a massive bonnet, and so you can't actually see quite a lot of the time what you're looking at over the top of the car. So when you come to the brow of a hill, you can just see the bonnet in front of you, so you can't really see what's going to go on the other side of the hill, which is quite cool too. There were a couple of comedy moments in the car. I had my foot on the brake instead of the accelerator at one point. I do have a slight excuse. I'm actually driving in walking boots because we were told to wear sort of all-weather gear just in case we had to get out and push the car, which luckily we didn't have to. And also I did indicate once, which was a bit unnecessary seeing as I was pretty much the only person driving around the range for quite a while. But really fun challenge, and I'm really quite surprised because I genuinely thought I was in the middle of an industrial estate. Like when I sort of booked this and found out that I could do 4x4 driving in Reading, I have to admit that I was quite dubious, but no, wicked. I was also quite dubious about driving a Discovery because I kind of thought of this as kind of like a family car. I know that sounds really bad, but my idea of a Landy is more of like a Defender, and so I did think this was a bit of a kind of cushy, like family car option. And actually when I rang up, they did say, oh, well, you might be able to use a Range Rover, which again kind of had these images of just like a road car, and I thought, oh, is this going to be as hardcore as I wanted it to be? But it really was. It was really, really good fun, and the instruction was great. I really would recommend this. If you're anywhere near Berkshire, then I would definitely recommend coming to Berkshire 4x4. It's been really good value for money. I got a good hour's worth behind the steering wheel, so a lot more time behind the wheel than I did when I went rally driving, and it was actually cheaper than the rally driving quite considerably. So yeah, definitely something I would recommend doing. Hopefully I'm going to be doing some more driving challenges. If I don't get any more in before I go to Australia, then hopefully I shall be doing some more 4x4 off-roading, but I'll actually be doing it on Fraser Island in Australia, which apparently is sand, and the instructor actually has been there, and he was telling me that it's a little bit on the different side. Apparently I do need to use some different skills because apparently driving on sand is going to be different to mud. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the challenge. So a great day has been had here. I shall see you again. Not sure what the next challenge will be, but I'm sure I shall see you very soon.